Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego here with your live stream from the Panhandle of Florida. Your K1 visa live stream where you get all this free information on how to process a K1 visa or a green card. I'm starting the live stream a few minutes early. I figured why not? Right? Well, it's November 4th, and tomorrow is Election Day here in the United States of America. Election Day, the day we decide whether we want to be a capitalist free market constitutional republic or a communist dictatorship. That's the decision tomorrow. So hopefully we pick the right candidate. And Karina, she is taking care of some stuff at the back of the house. She's kind of busy right now, so I'm going to run the live stream. She will be with us on Wednesdays and Saturdays, but mostly I'll be running the live stream on Mondays by myself. Because Karina, she's been up since like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock this morning. Christopher Reese, good evening, Diego. Good evening, brother. What's up, Christopher? How's your family doing? How are you? How's everybody doing in your family? Mercy Corway. Hi, Diego. What's going on, Mercy? How are you doing? I'm good. I'm always doing fantastic. Now, Karina, she's not going to be with us on Monday. She works, working this time like 6-day week this week. So she's taking a day off from the live stream so she can relax. But I'm going to answer all your questions, okay, that you have. I want you to get your green cards and your K1 visas and your spousal visas and your tourist visas. Christopher, doing well here. Hope you all are as well. We're all good. Benny the cat, she's doing good. Karina's busy right now. She's good. And now my wife is from Venezuela, okay? Karina is from Venezuela. She relocated to Colombia, all right, because she lived in Colombia for 6 years. And we dated for 3 years, and we got married this year on January 14th of 2024. And she got her green card in her hand on June 25th, 2024. Came in the mail, came to the mailbox, and there it was. There's her green card. Chris and Emil, good evening today. Don't forget to go out to vote. Well, I already voted during early voting, okay? But that's a good. If you are an American citizen, okay, go vote. The last day is tomorrow to go vote. Like I said, we got to decide tomorrow. Do we want to be a free country or do we want to be under the control of a Marxist? Honestly, that's my opinion, just by looking at the candidates. I study each candidate. I learn about this candidate. This candidate was raised by Marxists in Canada. This candidate is an American patriot who's a capitalist that creates jobs. And we had the lowest inflation that I can remember. Tomorrow's election day. And our elections affect people coming here on visas, okay? President Trump wants you to come to America legally. He doesn't want you sneaking in across the border. He supports you if you are coming here legally. Okay? He's not going to block you. Nothing's going to change. When Trump is elected president, which I'm sure he's going to be, because Americans are not stupid, when he's elected president, he's not going to change anything about the K1 visas or spousal visas. But what he is going to do, he's going to stop illegals from coming into our country. Because if I was to sneak into Colombia, if I was to go live in Colombia without permission from the government, they'd throw me in jail in Colombia or any country. It seems like when Democrats are in control of the freaking government, there's no law and order. The country goes into chaos. Mercy Conway, good quick question. Please, can I get my work permit while waiting for my green card? You apply for both at the same time. When you come to America, you get married within 90 days. You can apply for your work permit, but you will have to apply for your work permit with your green card at the same time. You can't file separately. Your work permit will come in first, probably in about 3 months. 3 to 4 months, you'll get your work permit, and then 6 to 9 months, you'll get your green card. So the question is, can I get my work permit while waiting for my green card? Yeah, you'll get your work permit, Mercy, in about 3 months. Then you can start work. But when your green card comes in, you have to go and adjust your status. You got to go to your boss and say, hey, I got my green card now. I have got my green card. I'm changing my status from work permit to green card. You got to notify them. You also have to notify the Social Security Administration. Okay. Ajali, hey Diego, happy Monday. I caught you on a Monday. Well, we're glad you're here, Ajali. And how's your beneficiary, your future husband? He's in the Dominican Republic. I won't forget. Yes, I forgot the other day, but he's in the Dominican Republic. Don't forget, you got to get him those documents because his K1 visa, the scary K1 visa interview, I think is on what? December 24th, if I remember you telling me. You got to get to get the I-134 signed and off to him, and etc. Let me see here. Chris and Emil, my fiance is going in for her interview at the embassy at 8:30 a.m. Chris and Emil, I'll open up a brand new Mountain Dew for that. Okay, a brand new Mountain Dew. Salute to Chris and Emil for tomorrow at 8:30. Piece of cake. No worries. Christopher Reese, here's my question. Okay, no problem. Is there a template on what we should put together for our binder for the K1 visa? You can watch the video I made. If you watch the video I made on how to put together a K1 visa, that's all you need. But what you're going to do is you're going to get all the evidence for your K1 visa. You're going to make up a cover sheet. All right. You're going to get a piece of paper. You're going to make up a cover sheet to USCIS, Louisville, Texas, the address, your name and address as the sponsor. And then you're going to list all the things in chronological order that's in the K1 visa application. So what's the first thing you're going to put on the list? The first thing is going to be the check, right? The second thing is going to be the G1145. So you get notified that the K1 visa arrived in Texas. Then you're going to put the I-129F, right? The application for the K1 visa, which is what, 13 pages long. It's easy to fill out. And then you're going to put a copy of your passport, photocopy of the biographic page of your passport. Then you're going to get a photocopy of your beneficiary's passport biographic page. And then you're going to get a copy of her birth certificate, translated into English. And then if you have any divorce decrees, you're going to get certified copies of divorce decrees or annulments or death certificates. And then you're going to put in there, you're going to put in the I-134. You don't have to, but I recommend you do. And your last tax return and your tax W-2s. I'm referring to the binder when she goes for the interview. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I made a video about that. I have made a video on how to assemble documents, for the K1 visa interview. Look for that video, how to assemble documents for the K1 visa interview. Let me see. Chris and Emma, I heard they deployed the Army on swing states. Who's they? Why would they deploy the Army into swing states? Who's deploying the Army into swing states? There's no Army. The U.S. Army is not going into swing states. But they are building a big fence around the White House. Did you see that? Okay. The Biden administration doesn't want to build a wall across the southern border to protect our country from illegal immigration and from fentanyl, but they do want to build a wall around the White House. That's the mindset of the Biden administration. They want to protect themselves. They couldn't give a rat's butt about you, Mr. American citizen, or Mr. Legal Resident, or Miss Legal Resident. They don't care about you. They just care about themselves. That's why they're building a wall around the White House and not across the southern border, like they should be. The U.S. Army is not being deployed to swing states, Chris and Emil. But there is National Guard in those states, okay? There's the National Guard. Christopher Reese, that is great, Chris. I bet you are super excited. Chris and Emil, I heard martial law may hit us. No, you wrote marital law. It's not, you meant to say martial law, right? There's no martial law going to be imposed on Americans, okay? Number one, Who owns all the Second Amendment was created by the founding fathers of our country, right? The Second Amendment, which protects the First Amendment. I really don't think the U.S. government under the Biden communists, the Biden communists are not going to put martial law on Americans. Mountain Dew salute to the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment is pretty much stronger than the entire federal government. That's why they're trying to disarm us. Let me see here. Miguel, I love the hat, Diego. You like this? This was Francois's idea. Francois Livingston. She said, I got to get these hats. I got one for myself, and I got one for Karina on the back over there. But she's busy right now. She's probably not going to do live streams on Mondays, just Wednesdays and Saturdays. Let me see. Mercy Conway. Okay, you're welcome. No problem. Miguel, why would they deploy the National Guard in swing states, Diego? If there's a hurricane, if there's a natural disaster, National Guard goes in to help people if there's a natural disaster. Christopher Reese, I'm referring to the binder when she goes for the interview. I made a video, how to assemble documents, Christopher, for the visa interview. Just check it out. Ajali, thank you. I used your video to fill out the I-134. There you go. It was very helpful. Well, that's the reason for the video. I was told that he didn't need the I-134 and the financial proof for the interview. He needs it for the green card. Okay. You do not put an I-134 application in a green card application. You don't. You fill out the I-134 for the visa interview at the embassy, and he needs to bring it with him. You fill out the I-864, which is the affidavit of support for the green card application. So you fill out the I-134 for the K-1 visa interview. Okay? You fill out the I-864 for the green card application. Okay? Two separate forms. The I-134 is a declaration of financial support. That is information you must give to the consular officer at the embassy interview that you're going to be able to support your beneficiary while he waits for his green card. So he's not going to be able to work until he gets his green card or work permit. So he brings the I-134 to the visa interview plus all your tax documents. Okay. When Karina went to her K-1 visa interview, her scary K-1 visa interview in Bogota, Colombia, the first thing they did was take her I-134. They want to see the I-134. First thing they wanted to see. So whoever told you they didn't need the I-134, it needs to create their own YouTube channel, okay, and make videos which will totally destroy a K-1 visa application instead of totally fix. I make these videos so people don't make those mistakes. Okay? You got to have the I-134 for the visa interview. If the immigration officer doesn't ask for it, that's one thing. He may not ask for it, but you got to have it just in case he does or she does. The first thing they asked Karina at her K-1 visa interview, once she got all the documents sorted out, they took her I-134. Okay. There was a person, I believe, that was in which country was it? It was a country in Indonesia. I think it was Indonesia. They didn't have their I-134. They didn't get their K-1 visa. So she had to call him up in the United States, have him fill out an I-134. He had to sign it and FedEx it to her or DHL it, so that she could get her visa. You fill out the I-134 for the K-1 visa interview, declaration of financial support accompanied by tax returns, W-2s, etc., tax transcripts. When you file for the green card, the sponsor will fill out Form I-864, affidavit of support. In the green card application will be included your last tax return, your last W-2 or 1099, and your most recent tax transcript. If you don't include that, you will not get the green card. So Ajali, I am not going to take you down a rabbit hole and get you and give you bad information. Fill out the I-134, get it to him for his visa interview. If the immigration officer, the consular officer doesn't want it, doesn't ask for it, that's on them. But don't be the person without it, because that's when they ask for it. So whoever it is told you that, okay, they need to go maybe and find something else to do. Let me see here. And no, you do not include an I-134 for the green card application. You do not submit an I-134 for a green card application. You submit an 864. Somebody's giving you very bad advice. And then when people listen to that bad advice, it ends up hurting them. Their K-1 visa gets put on a 221G hold. They get their green card application sent back, rejected. Continue. Let's see here. Christopher Reese, I will be back shortly. There you go. Badia Mike, hi Diego, hope you're doing well. Since I have applied my green card and work automation, work permit is now 3 months. I didn't yet receive my work permit. Well, it takes 3 to 4 months to get a work permit, but you'll get it. If you didn't get an RFE on your green card application, if there was no mistakes in your paperwork, you're basically just in line waiting for your work permit. You'll get it. Let's do this. Let's put all this pixie dust all over your application. That will bring your work permit to you quicker. Let me see here. James Wright, if a person is verbally, physically abused K-1, can they stay after marriage? If what do you mean? If the sponsor abuses the K-1 visa applicant or the K-1 visa applicant abuses the American citizen? Which way is it? Are you saying, James, if an American citizen is verbally, physically abused by the K-1, can they stay after marriage? Well, they can if they have their green card, yeah. But then I would recommend is filing for divorce and get rid of that nasty person. A green card holder who's on a 2-year green card, who is now a divorcee, okay, will have to go back to his or her home country. Right? Because who lifts the conditions off the 2-year green card? You and the sponsor and the beneficiary. If you don't lift the conditions off of the 2-year green card, if somebody comes to America, you get married, and the beneficiary, man or woman, is abusive physically or is a horrible person and is just a nasty person, needs to be in prison or whatever, and you got married, that person is still in the United States on the 2-year green card. They are a legal permanent resident. But what you should do is divorce that person, okay? And then it's all out of your hands. You are now legally free. You're no longer married to that person. Whether they're in the United States or not is irrelevant, okay? It's irrelevant because it's an immigration problem. When that person's 2-year green card, if they haven't self-deported, if they haven't returned back to their home country after you divorce them, if they still live in America, okay, that's not your problem. You divorced them, okay? But they will not be able to renew their green card for 10 years because it has to be 2 people that does it, the sponsor and the beneficiary. They both have to file a joint lifting of conditions. But my recommendation would be that you get divorced and then tell that person to go back to whatever country he or she came from. And if they don't, say, okay, it's on you. Because in 2 years from now, you're going to get a deportation letter if you don't apply to lift the conditions off your green card for the 2 year. That's why the U.S. Congress created this CR1 conditional residency green card to protect Americans. Okay? So James, I hope I answered your question. If you got it, what did you write there? Let me see. Ajali, I misplaced my 2021 tax returns. Can't use the tax returns transcript they gave me, the IRS website. You can use your 2021 tax return transcript. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. If you've lost your 2021 tax return, your 1040, whatever, you can use the tax transcript in its place. It's all good. Chip Chera. Hi, Diego. The letters from USCIS never arrived to the mail and I missed my biometrics appointment. What can I do? What do you mean the letter? So the biometrics letter from USCIS never arrived to you, the mail, and I missed my biometrics appointment. Well, where's the letter? Yeah, for adjustment of status. Where's the letter for the biometrics? Where's your appointment letter? What happened to it? Where'd it go? Where is it? Did the mailman lose it? Did your neighbor steal it out of your mailbox? What happened to it? So how do you know that you missed your biometrics appointment? How do you know that you missed it? What can I do? You gotta, number one, contact the post office and find out where that letter is for the appointment. And number two, you need to go to the biometrics appointment, even though you don't have your letter, and say, I can't. The mailman lost my letter, or whatever happened. What happened to it? How do you know that you missed your biometrics? How do you know that you missed your biometrics appointment? Did immigration send you a letter saying you missed it? Priyanka, hello Diego and Karina. Me and my husband moved to Michigan. He got laid off, but I'm working. He will find a job, yes, soon, and decided not be a distance. Okay, lots of pixie dust for your husband to get a job, okay? He'll find a job. No problem. He'll get a job. And I'm very glad that you guys are together under the same roof. Immigration don't like it if you're separated from each other. They don't like it. It's a red flag. Let's see here. Chip Chera. It never arrived. I knew that I missed it because they told me USCIS by phone that I missed it and gave me a code access to see the missed letter online. Print that missed letter, go online, print that freaking letter, and then go to the biometrics and explain what happened. You never got the letter. It was lost in the mail. And then they'll do your biometrics. With that, print it, go online, right? You can see it online, print it, and go to your biometrics. I'll give you a Mountain Dew salute. They won't deny you the biometrics. It wasn't your fault. You just got to go in there and do it. So you went online. They gave you a code access to see the letter. Print that letter. No, that's what you have to do. Chip Chair, don't try, do. There's no trying in this K1 visa. There's no try. You will do it, and you will get your biometrics completed, and you'll get yours, and then the green card process will start. They're just waiting on you to go and do your biometrics. It wasn't your fault that the letter was misplaced somewhere. It got lost. It wasn't your fault. Okay? So get that letter, print it, go online, print it, go into the biometrics place and say, I'm sorry, I never got the original letter. USCIS just notified me that I didn't get it, I missed my appointment. There you go. Chip Cheddar, I just saved your green card. I just saved your green card. Seriously, I really did. It's all good. I got 10 years experience with this, guys. I'm not an immigration attorney, okay? I don't give you any legal advice. I don't work for USCIS. But I got 10 years of doing this. I've helped so many people get their green cards from denials, from stupid mistakes, from immigration errors, from people talking to other people in Facebook groups. Well, this Facebook group told me I got to do this, and now I got a problem with my freaking visa. Surprise, surprise. Stay out of Facebook. Don't go in there. Come on and hang out with me on the YouTube. Okay? So Priyanka got reunited with her husband in Michigan. Fantastic. Chris and Emma, Larry Piercy, you still here for the class? Now, Larry Piercy said he wanted live streams on a Monday. I usually do it on Wednesdays and Saturdays, not on a Monday. But he wanted them on Mondays too. So I'm doing the live stream on a Monday. Where is he? He's not here. But that's all good. We're here, right? James Wright, I asked backwards. The sponsor is the abuser. If the sponsor is abusing the K1 visa applicant and she came over here with good faith to get married to a nice person who turned out to be a jerk, she can still stay in the United States. She will have to file for her 10-year green card using a protective status. Okay, if you come to America and you, as an applicant, as a beneficiary, and then unfortunately you get married to an American who probably belongs in an asylum. Okay, it's not her fault or his fault. So that person can still stay in America if he or she decides to stay. Okay, but that person needs to get out of that house where that person is, that abuser, go find somewhere else to live, or find a friend to live with, or somebody, and then change her address with USCIS, with immigration. She needs to file the address, change of address form, do it online. She can stay in America. She won't be deported because of that. But when she files for her 10-year green card, she has to explain what happened. So the process will continue. She has her green card, or he. Chip Chera, it never arrived. I knew that I missed it because they told me, yeah, well, now we've fixed the problem, right? Chip Chera, we've got it fixed. You print the letter, you go to the biometrics and explain what happened. You never got the letter. Here it is. I had to get it. Immigration had to resend it. And I printed it offline. And you're good to go. Okay? So I'm going to give you a Mountain Dew salute for your biometrics appointment that you're going to go to and get this process started. Immigration's not going to block your green card because the mailman lost your freaking letter. Hannah. Hi, Diego. When I check my USCIS account regarding my adjustment of status, there is an option called progress, and it says estimated remaining time for the case decision is 4 months. It can be approved within 4 months. It could be approved in 3 months. It could be approved next week. Okay? These are just times that immigration give you. Are they accurate? Not all the time. Not always. No. But it's a possibility. Chip Chair, it's printed. I'll go tomorrow. Go to your biometrics, explain what happened, apologize and say, I'm very sorry. The mailman never delivered the mail. Immigration contacted me and said, why didn't you go to your appointment? Say, I never got my letter. Now you have it. And then tomorrow you get your biometrics done and your green card application will continue processing like it should be. You got it? Carlos, checking in for tonight's class from Medellin, Colombia. Mountain Dew salute to Carlos and his fiance in Medellin, Colombia. We are flying to Bogota tomorrow, and our interview is at the end of the week. That's great. When you are in Bogota, don't forget you got to get lots of souvenirs for your house in America. Buy lots of those fridge magnets for your house. Okay? Or get some souvenirs. Get some T-shirts that says Medellin on it in Bogota. Get some souvenirs. So good luck with the visa interview. She'll pass it, no problem. Hannah, and regarding the adjustment of status, is there any interview we'll make it with USCIS before the case decision? You'll get more than likely you won't have to go to another visa interview, Hannah. You're good. The question is there an interview? Immigration don't have the time to be doing green card interviews. The only time that you're going to get hit with a green card interview mostly is if you have a very weak green card application. If you don't put in a strong green card application, immigration doesn't have confidence in it, you're going to be in front of an immigration officer explaining yourself. James Wright, thanks, mate. You're welcome. A person that comes to America, male or female, okay, gets married in good faith to a U.S. citizen, and that person, that beneficiary, gets abused by the American citizen sponsor, that person can still remain in America on their green card, and they can file for protective status. When they file for they could get filed for protective status, okay? Let me see. Ajali, I'm a little lost. Diego, what do I do once my fiance comes to the United States? First thing you do is get a social security number. Print your I-94. You get to America, wait a couple of days, print the I-94, go and apply for a social security number. And then when the social security number comes in, get together on the same bank, become joint account holders on the bank, get his name on the title to your car, deed to your house, or rental agreements. Start getting him put on all your service bills like the water, electric, trash, etc., and get married within 2 weeks. Once he gets to America, you want to get married within 2 weeks. And then you got 40, 50, 60 days to put your green card paperwork together. You don't want to get married in 2 weeks and then file for a green card. Immigration's going to go, huh? You got to build that green card application so it's strong. You want to get on at least a month or 2 months worth of bank statements. You want to be on the electric bill, the water bill, the trash bill, the deed to the house or apartment or townhouse, the title to the car or motorcycle or RV, etc. And you have to wait for those bills to come in. Okay, you got to get the birth certificate translated into English. Now, when you go to the K1 visa, if you go to a K1 visa interview like in Colombia or in Dominican Republic, you don't have to get any documents translated into English. But when you get to America and you apply for your green card, you have to translate the birth certificate into English. So you get to America, get your social security number, get on the bank account, start getting his name on all the bills you have. Get him a Sam's Club card, get him a library card. Basically, what you're going to do is build evidence of cohabitation and commingling of funds. You're going to show evidence of cohabitation and mingling of funds. Okay? That's what you got to prove to immigration. And once you've got that done, it takes about 50, 60 days. Then you can file for the green card. But Carlos is checking in from Medellin, Colombia, the city of eternal spring. And I love Colombia. I miss Colombia, actually. I don't miss the horrible weather in Bogota. The weather in Bogota sucks. It's cold and rainy most of the time. And I don't miss the traffic. And I don't miss the noise. It's a noisy place. But I miss the people. Okay? Colombia, the Colombians are fantastic people, really nice people. Super. Ajali, adjustment of status, file for green card before marriage. No, you cannot file for the green card before you get married. You got to get married first, and then you apply for the green card. You get the social security number first. Well, the first thing you're going to do is print the I-94. Make 5 or 6 copies. Print 5 or 6 copies of the I-94. You can get that at the Border Patrol website. Just Google I-94 Border Patrol, and it'll bring up to the website. Or you can watch the video I made on how to get it. Then you go get social security number. Then you get married. Then you start putting his name on all of your bills and on your house or apartment. Okay? You get married within 2 weeks. When you file for your green card application, you got to include the marriage certificate, the I-94, the K1 visa, the biographic pages of the passports, American citizen and the beneficiary, wedding photos, honeymoon pictures, bank statements that you are commingling funds together. You got to put together proof of a relationship. Matt Berner, I miss Colombia too. I was going every 2 months for 2 years. So let's give a Mountain Dew salute to everybody that lives in Colombia, our Colombian friends, okay? Colombia and Venezuela too. Karina's from Venezuela. My wife, she's from Venezuela. But she lives in Colombia. She lived in Colombia for 6 years because she likes to, things like electricity and water and medicine, gasoline for the car, whatever, gas for the house. Colombia is like living in America, except they speak Spanish. There's no real difference between Colombia and the United States. They're both capitalist both constitutional republics, but it's just a different language. That's all. So I miss Colombia, and I enjoyed our trip to Bendita Beach. Karina and I, we went to Cartagena, we went to Santa Marta, Playa Blanca, we went to Bendita Beach in the Caribbean. It was a wonderful time. And we went to Cucuta, because I was so sick of cold weather in Bogota. It's always cold and rainy, that I said, hey, Karina, we got to go somewhere. So we went to Cucuta, where it was 85, 90 degrees. And that's where coffee, Cucuta and Venezuela, the border there is where coffee started to become famous. It's where the coffee beans were starting to be traded between the two countries. Let's see here. Hector Mercado. Hi, Diego. Got married in Honduras, April 2023. Okay. I'm on the waiting list for a spousal visa. So far, the wait time is 19 months for my wife, but my stepdaughter shows 16 months. Is this normal? No, you're both going to be getting your spousal visa and CR1. What happens in a spousal visa is you're going to get the green card as soon as you get the appointment set and everything, and you go to the embassy interview, well, your wife does, and it's all going to be on the same day. Your wife and your two stepdaughters will go to the visa interview in Honduras on the same day. So disregard that separate 19 months, 16 months. Disregard that. Your wife and kids, children and stepchildren are not going to be separated by 3 months. When your wife goes to her spousal visa interview at the U.S. Embassy in Honduras, your stepchildren will be with her, and they will all travel together to the United States. Okay? So don't panic, Hector. The U.S. government's not going to separate your family. Is it normal? No, it's not normal, and it's not correct. Hannah, you voted for Trump or for Harris? I voted for Trump. I voted for Donald Trump. Now, I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm neither. I can't stand either party because they're both as bad as each other. They both have basically systematically bankrupted our country, both of them. But I voted for Trump because he's a businessman, okay? He creates jobs for everybody. He built New York City, basically. He built the skyline of New York City, basically the modern skyline, okay? I'm serious. He created 22,000 jobs in his hotels alone, and those people are very glad that they have a job. Okay, when he built golf courses, when he built office space, when he built apartment complexes, whatever he does, whenever he builds something, he creates jobs. So if you're a legal permanent resident, you're coming to the United States and you're looking for a job, and you have your green card, I'm pretty sure there's going to be some availability in the Trump workforce somewhere. Okay? Kamala Harris has created 0 jobs. Her mom and dad were Marxists, and she was raised in Canada. Her knowledge of the Constitution, in my opinion, is 0. She has no clue. She has no clue. She said she wanted to create a federal agency to control prices. Well, you know who else did that? Maduro, the dictator of Venezuela. He has an agency that controls prices. You know, she's a Marxist. She's a communist. And why do I say that? Because of what she says. What her ideology is. Her economic plan is no different than Maduro's in Venezuela. And when you come to the United States as a legal permanent resident, you get a job, okay? You don't want to pay lots of money in taxes. You want to keep as much money for yourself and your family. But Kamala Harris's business plan is raise taxes, take money out of your pocket, and give it to the government because they know how to spend it better than you do. That ain't happening. Trump's going to lower taxes. He's going to reduce inflation, and he's going to get it where people can afford a freaking house and a car. Right now, people can't even afford to buy a car because interest rates are so high. Why are interest rates so high to buy a car? Because of inflation. Why is inflation so high? Because Kamala Harris and the Congress keep spending money that we don't have. Why are interest rates so high? Because the Federal Reserve under Kamala Harris raised interest rates to incredulous a high number. So now people cannot get a loan to buy a car or they can't afford the payments. Kamala Harris has got to go. And everybody associated with her has got to go. Not because of her being a Democrat. I couldn't care less. I don't care if she was a Democrat. If she was a Republican, I'd be saying the same thing. She's got to go. Okay? I'm independent. I look at ideology. Am I better off now than I was under Trump? No. A loaf of bread's what, $4 for a freaking loaf of bread? It used to be $1.25. When you come to America as a legal permanent resident, learn our history, learn about the government, and when you become a U.S. citizen, make sure you make the right choice on who you become, what party you join. Make the right choice. I did. I'm independent. Republicans and Democrats, I look at them and I don't like their policies. Okay? I'd vote for the person that's going to follow the Constitution and put more money in my pocket. Anyway, enough on politics. Hannah, nice to hear that. Hopefully Trump will win. If Trump doesn't win the election, number one, there's going to be somewhere in there that's not right. Okay, my opinion, I don't know. But if he doesn't win, our country is going to become communist. Kamala Harris is going to run the country like a dictator. Why do I say that? Because that's her ideology. That's her mindset. She said she wants to send the government into my house and take my guns, or to check to see they're stored properly. Second Amendment doesn't permit that. It's unconstitutional. It's communism. Maduro did the same thing to Venezuelans. He sent people into the Venezuelans took their guns with these unconstitutional buybacks. As soon as the Venezuelan people were disarmed and had no means to defend themselves, under Chavez, it started under Chavez and then finished as soon as that happened under Maduro, he implemented communism. Why? He wasn't scared of the people. They couldn't defend themselves. Now look at Venezuela. The economy's in the toilet. How many millions of people left Venezuela and moved to Colombia and Chile and Argentina? How many millions of Colombians how many millions of Venezuelans left Venezuela to live other places because of communism? If the United States turned communist under Kamala Harris, where are we going to go? We got no place else. There's no place else left to go. Let me see. Hector Mercado. Great. Thank you, Diego. Watching from Georgia. We love Georgia. Chris and Emil, I really meant some states deployed National Guard for voting day. It's not necessary. Americans are peaceful people. Okay. By the most part, conservative Americans are very peaceful. Miguel, don't forget he supports legal immigration. Miguel, who supports? Biden does. Joe Biden opened up our southern flank and said, come on in. Come on in. There's no medical exam required. There's no biometrics. There's nothing. So there's millions and millions of people coming into our country. We don't know who they are. We don't know if they're criminals or not. We have no idea. No. Joe Biden is already done. He's already been, the Democrat Party already stuck a fork in his back and cooked him. And then threw him out like garbage, because we're garbage to the Democrat Party. Joe Biden thinks I'm garbage because I have a different opinion politically to his. So I'm garbage. That's what he said, right? Basically. And Charlie, one more question. Do I need to include a copy of my passport? Yes. You got to get a blown up copy of your biographic page of your passport. You got to get a blown up copy, nice and big, of your biographic page of your passport, so immigration can read it. Okay. There was our friend Pete. His fiance was in the Philippines. His fiance went to the embassy interview with a copy of his passport, the biographic page, but it was very small. It was printed like this. Immigration couldn't really see the name or anything. So she went into a 221G administrative hold because immigration couldn't read the passport. So you blow up the biographic page of your passport, the picture, the way you sign, and the expiration date and all that, and that needs to be with your beneficiary at the visa interview. Chris and Emil, is session with her interview as of now? If she passes, I know she will pass. I don't know how many questions. Chris and Emil. First, I'm going to put all this pixie dust all over that visa interview. Boom. She's going to pass, okay? Now I'm going to give her a Mountain Dew salute. Okay? So she's going to pass. The K1 visa interview wasn't created to block people from coming to America. It was created to make sure that the beneficiary and the sponsor qualified for the benefit, number one, and that there was no fraud involved in the application. And the consular officers can figure it out pretty quick. If you guys, if somebody's in a real relationship with each other, immigration's can figure it out if it's real or not in about 2 minutes. Chris and Emil, I did work with her for the interview questions. Okay, these are the questions that she could get. How did your relationship develop? When was the last time your sponsor came to visit you in the Philippines? She's in the Philippines, right? In Manila. How many times has your sponsor been to the Philippines to visit with the beneficiary? Yeah, she's in the Philippines. So they're going to ask, how many times have you been to the Philippines to visit with your fiance? Did you have an engagement party? Things like that. You did one time. How long did you stay? How long did you stay in the Philippines? These are questions that she could get. What do you have any family members? What are their names? She may be asked. Karina, 2 weeks. Okay. So you went and spent 2 weeks in the Philippines. Okay. Have you made any other trips back to the Philippines? Just one time? You didn't make any other trips? Just one time. The immigration really want to see it, even though the rule says just one time because of work. I understand. No problem. But do you have lots of evidence of a continued relationship? WhatsApp chats, Yahoo Messenger chats. Did you send her gifts? Did you send her money on her birthday? Did you send her money for Christmas? Did you send her, did you have an engagement celebrations of some kind? All right, you have all that evidence, right? You can prove your relationship. You got to prove it. Immigration don't take your word for anything. You can say this and that, but they want to see it in writing. They want to see it printed. They want to see it on paper. I made 5 trips to Colombia to be with Karina. I lived with her for 2.5 years in Bogota. I was back and forth to the United States, but I had a combined time of 2.5 years together over the same roof in our apartment in Bogota, and we went all over the place in Colombia. I think the only place I didn't go was Medellin, which I wish I'd went there, but that's okay. We went everywhere else, and I collected all the evidence of the trips. Chris and Emil, I have a feeling she will pass. She will pass, no problem. If you got all this evidence of your relationship, how long have you guys known each other? They may ask her, how did you meet each other? How did you start communicating with each other? When was the last time in 2018? So 19, 21, 22, 23. So 6 years. So you've been together for 6 years. Do you have 6 years worth of communications, printouts, WhatsApp letters, messages? Do you have 6 years worth of printed proof of a relationship? Plus your one-time visit. You have the boarding passes. You had lots of pictures with her in the Philippines, right? With her family, with her friends. This is what immigration is looking for, okay? When I filed for Karina's K1 visa back in 2022, I had already made 2 trips to be with her, I've been there twice, and I've been living with her for 5-6 months, something like that. When we filed for the green card application, I had proof of being together for 3 years. We had rent receipts. My name was on the apartment in Bogota, Colombia. When I was there, I paid the rent to the landlord in Colombian pesos in COP, and then the landlord would sign the rent receipt. I signed it, and Karina signed it, and I had all these rent receipts that went into the K1 visa application, showing that we were living under the same roof for 6 months when I maxed out the tourist visa for Colombia. You got to prove a relationship to get a K1 visa and to get a green card. When Trump gets elected president, I will not be surprised at all if he's not going to block anybody from coming to America on a K1, but he's going to make the procedure. I bet he makes it a little bit more stringent. I don't know. We'll see what happens on the election, right? Tomorrow. Yes, and she will go to the CFO class. Now, she has to get the CFO class out of the way in the Philippines, in Manila, because the Philippine government says she has to have a 4 or 5 hour class, which gives her information on how to live in a foreign country. It's not just for a K1 visa. It's also if you get let's suppose if you're in the Philippines and you want to go work in Singapore, or you want to go get a job in Hong Kong, you can do that. And if you do, you got to go to a CFO class, because the Philippine government wants to make sure that you fully understand the process, okay, of living in a foreign country. Just imagine you're from Central Philippines and you live in a beautiful little town, little village, and you know everybody. If you're a Filipina, you're from the Philippines, you step out of your house and you walk down the street to the store to go buy some groceries. Everybody knows you, and hey, everybody knows you. Kamusta ka, right? But then you move to the United States, to a strange city or a strange town, and nobody knows who you are. But you have the advantage that you can speak English. Most Filipinos can speak English. They're highly intelligent people. They can speak English and Tagalog, and then there's some other dialects, like in Cebu. I think there's a little different dialect right there. But you have the advantage of being able to speak English when you get to America. And my advice to people, if you're a Filipino coming to live in America, my advice to you is try to find some Philam Clubs when you get here. When you get married to your American citizen sponsor, congratulations. But ask your American citizen sponsor, are there any Philam Clubs here? Which is Filipino American clubs, where Filipinos and Americans, they meet up maybe once a month and they socialize together. They make lots of those spring rolls. What are they called? What are those Filipino spring rolls called? They're so good. They're very tasty. But they all meet up once a month. So if you're Filipino, ask your American citizen sponsor, hey, do we have any Philam Clubs here we can go and check out once a month or whatever? And that way you'll be able to be mingling with Filipinos and your American citizen husband or wife. Come on, guys, give me some questions. I'm here for you. Remember, I'm not giving you any legal advice. I'm not an immigration attorney, but I am saving you $4,000 or $5,000 for not having to hire an immigration attorney, because this process isn't difficult. Filing for a green card is not difficult. It's easy. You just got to pay attention to details. And if you don't know how to do it, just jump on the live stream and I'll answer your questions and I will walk you through it. Okay? But I've also made videos on how to do it also. Yeah, I'm not saying you got to watch the video, but if you can ask me any questions you want right here on the live stream, and I will answer them for you. Okay? But if you need some extra class time, if you need more class time, if you want to graduate from K1 visa school and green card college, just watch the videos that I've made. They will help you significantly, okay? Now, tomorrow's election day. I hope that my candidate wins, which would be Trump. But if Kamala Harris wins, then that's the way our country works in an election. You get a choice of candidates, okay? You get a choice. Yes, but I just hope we stay a republic. That's all I care about. I want this country to stay a republic and not turn into a socialist mess, economic mess. Destiny's Room is in the house. Hi there, Destiny's Room. What's going on? Chris and Emma, work permit is 3-to-1 process. A 3-to-1 you mean it's 3 to 4 months to get a work permit. Okay. It takes 3 to 4 months to get a work permit and 6 to 9 months to get a green card. That's right now as of November of 4th, 2024. But the process can speed up. You know, starting, let's say, January, February, or March. If you apply for your green card in January, February, or March, it may only take 4 months to get it, not 6 months or 9 months. It all depends on the time of the year and the workload at the embassies and also the workload at USCIS. Destiny's Room, just working on the adjustment of status and making rice. Okay, nice. Hope all is well. Well, I'll give you a Mountain Dew salute because I like rice. I like the white rice that's boiled in water. I don't care too much for fried rice. I like fried rice, but I prefer the white rice boiled in water, especially with a Thai curry. Like I'll make a Thai curry for Karina, chicken red curry, not too hot, and I'll make some white rice with it. But Karina prefers fried rice. I prefer white rice. You know, when you are in a relationship with somebody in a K-1 visa process, make sure you know everything about your sponsor. And Mr. Sponsor, make sure you know everything about your beneficiary. Okay? I know everything about Karina. I know what her favorite food is. I know what her favorite movie is. I know what her favorite music is. I know how her mind works. She knows about how my mind works. Okay? When you go to the K-1 visa interview, the immigration officer is going to look to see if you are in a real relationship with each other. And that person, the consular officer, will gather that from the K-1 visa application that you send to Louisville, Texas. When you send your K-1 visa application to Louisville, Texas, the immigration officer will make sure that the check's filled out properly, you didn't miss anything, you signed everything. Then they send it to a service center, most likely California. The service center will review it in about 5 or 6 months, adjudicate it, and then if they approve it, which they probably will, 85% are getting approved, they will send it to the National Visa Center. The National Visa Center will look to make sure the USCIS didn't make any mistakes at the service center. If everything's good and if the embassy's not busy, they will then forward it to the embassy. And the embassy will get the K-1 visa package that you sent to Louisville, Texas a year ago. And they will study it. And they will be able to know when you do the scary face-to-face visa interview, they're going to know everything about you, Mr. Sponsor, Miss Sponsor, and your beneficiary. So if you find that the visa interview is only 5 minutes long, trust me, they've already done a couple of hours of investigating on your visa package before you got to the embassy. Let me see here. Destiny's Room, I've tried to get a money order for adjustment of status. No, don't use a money order. Get a cashier's check. USPS kept denying my card no matter how we tried. Get a cashier's check. Destiny's Room. So I don't know what to do. Get a cashier's check. When you pay for your green card, yes, a cashier's check. Cashier's check. Go to the bank. Do you have a bank account? Do you have an account with a bank? Do you have an account with a bank? Right? With cash in it. Go and get a cashier's check. Your bank is hours away. You don't pay for a green card with money orders. Number one, the money order is not sufficient. It only goes to $1,000. I think it's the max. The green card and the biometrics is $1,440. So you need to either write a personal check or get a cashier's check. One or the other. Your bank is hours away. Well, it is what it is, right? You say, I don't know what to do. Get a cashier's check. Yeah, when I moved for this job to this rural area, I didn't realize my bank would be so far. Well, what I would do is jump in the car, go to your bank, and get a cashier's check for $1,440. Okay? That will pay for the green card and the biometrics. Okay? Make a trip out of it and go get it. Don't use a money order. Money orders, they'll decline you on the credit card. If you're trying to use a credit card, you only have a $500 maximum. It's a headache. But if you go to your bank and get in line and go to the counter and talk to the lady, say, hey, I need a cashier's check for $1,440. She'll make it for you. She'll take the money from your bank account and give you a cashier's check. And you have to make the cashier's check out to this. Very important. This is who you make the cashier's check out to. Okay? Very, very important that you don't make the mistake. You go to your bank, type this on a computer, or write it down on a piece of paper, nice and big, and give it to your bank clerk and say, I need a cashier's check for $1,440 made out to those people. Okay? And don't let the bank abbreviate that. Any abbreviation in the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, I spelled security wrong, will result in your green card package being sent back to you. Let me correct the spelling. I have my glasses on. U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Praying my car lasts the trip. Well, it's something you got to do. But okay, I will ask about it, Diego. Thank you. No, you don't ask about it. You do it. Either you're at your house. I got checks down here in the drawer. I can write a check. I write a check out for the gas bill. I just write a check for the gas for the cooking, or get a cashier's check at your bank. But you got to have it. You can't don't use your credit card. Okay. I know, but my husband likes to do things his way, so I must ask him first. You must ask him first. The process is this. When you pay for your green card, you use a cashier's check. Money order's not going to work. Not a good idea. It ain't going to work. Money orders are not going to work for a green card or for a K1. But I want whatever works for you. Okay, so you talk to your husband and you say that you are the expert on green cards and immigration needs a personal check or a cashier's check. Don't use a money order, because you can't get a money order in the amount that will cover the whole amount. And immigration is not going to want a collection of money orders trying to add up to the $1,440. They want to do it in one shot. Goku Jehovah One. Hello, Diego. Can be this pay online of a card? Also, if my fiance has a daughter, 6 years old, have to be $1,440 each. Okay. Number one, you pay for your green card with a personal check or a cashier's check. Okay, let me write it out. Pay for the green card with a cashier's check or personal check. And I'm writing in capitals because Larry Piercy needs capitals because his eyes are bad like mine. You pay for the green card with a cashier's check or a personal check, number one. Number two, is it $1,040? Okay, now, if your daughter is 6 years old, there's a different price for her. But there's going to be a separate fee for the green card for your stepdaughter. Okay? If you go to a fee calculator, type in USCIS fee calculator online. Go onto Google and type in USCIS fee calculator. Click on the link, and then you can go and find out how much is going to be the green card for a child who's under the age of 16. But you're going to file two separate green card applications, but you're going to put them in the same box and send them to the same place. So you're going to have two green card applications. Okay? K1 and K2. 2 green card applications, K1 and K2. That means you're going to have to do 2 separate. Remember, even though your stepdaughter is 6 years old, she is filing as an individual for her green card. Okay? She's filing as an individual for her green card. So you're going to have 2 separate, I don't know how to spell separate, 2 separate, what is it, S-A-P-R, I can't spell it, 2 separate applications. Okay, 2 separate applications. Let me fix that. Spelling. I guess I spelled it right. When you file for a green card, you're going to have 2 separate applications. Okay? One for the 6-year-old and one for your wife. You're going to put 2 green card applications together. You're going to have 2 cover letters, one for the child, one for your wife. You're going to have the marriage certificate, certified copy for your wife and for the child. You're going to have the I-94 for your wife and a separate I-94 for the child. The K2 visa, the K2 applicant will have a I-94 generated. Okay? The K1 applicant, I can't spell. The K1 applicant will have a I-94 generated. Okay? Do you understand what I'm saying? You're going to have 2 I-94s, 2 green card applications, 2 separate applications, one for the K1 and one for the K2. You're going to have pictures for the K1, pictures for the K2. Get lots of pictures with your 6-year-old. Is she in school? Did you put your 6-year-old, your stepchild, in school? Did the child have to have a school physical to go to school? Get a copy of the school physical, include it in the K2, in the green card application. Did your stepdaughter, do you have pictures with her school friends in her school? Get pictures and write the names of the children in the pictures and the date the picture was taken and where the picture was taken. Do you have registration for school when the 6-year-old, when you register for school? Do you have paperwork that shows you registered her for school? Put that in the green card application. Okay? Because you are filing 2 separate green card applications, but you're going to put them in the same FedEx box or DHL or UPS. When can K2s obtain their Social Security card? When they get their green card, or if they apply for a work permit. A K2 cannot get a Social Security card with an I-94. Only a K1. Only the K1 can get a Social Security card, okay? The wife or husband can get a Social Security card right off the bat with the I-94, but a K2 cannot. A K2 can get a Social Security card when either their work permit arrives and then their green card arrives. When their work permit, or you can apply, when you apply for the work permit and the green card on page 2 of USCIS form I-485, you can apply on the K2 for the Social Security number on page 2 of the I-485. Remember, when you apply for a green card for a K2, you're going to fill out a separate I-864. You're going to have a separate I-693 medical exam. You're going to have separate vaccination document recertification. You're going to have a separate I-485. Do you see what I'm saying? You're going to put together a green card application for your wife or husband. It's going to include Form 485, 864, 693, I-94, the marriage certificate, the passport, your passport, etc., etc., etc. When you fill out the K2 visa green card application, you're going to repeat exactly the same thing, but the only thing you're going to do is change the name. Okay? A 6-year-old, okay, you're going to fill out, the 6-year-old's going to have a separate 485, separate 864. The 6-year-old has an I-94. Your stepdaughter has an I-94. It was created by the Border Patrol, Customs Enforcement, whatever you want to call them, when she arrived in America with her mom. Okay? You got it? Carlos. Do you want to? Okay, Carlos? A K2 cannot get a social security number until the work permit comes in or the green card. So if you want to get your stepdaughter or somebody a work permit who's a K2, apply for a work permit for that person. Or if or just wait and file for the social security number on page 2 of the form 485. Anjo A. K1 Diego, K1 visa question. After second interview, fiance was handed 221G green paper for expired medical. Got to repeat the medical. How long should we expect to wait after completing the second medical? It depends on the embassy and how busy they are. Let's talk about medical exams. So let's suppose you're in Colombia and you got your medical exam, okay? It's good for 6 months. And the embassy gets busy and it takes 7 months before you can get to a visa interview. So you go to the visa interview and you get approved, but your medical exam's expired. What's going to happen? You're going to get a 221G green paper, okay? So you repeat the medical exam and then you go back to the embassy and boom, you get the visa approved. But if you fly to America, okay, with an expired medical exam, but your green card, your K1 visa is still good, it hasn't expired, you won't be allowed into the country. You cannot enter the United States on an expired medical exam, even if your K1 visa has not expired. So if your medical exam expired a month before your K1 visa, and you fly to the United States a month before your K1 visa expires, you'll be denied entry. So my recommendation is you get your medical exam done 2 weeks before your K1 visa interview is scheduled. Don't be jumping the gun. Unless, there's reasons out of your control. You pay the visa fee, the consular fee. You fill out the DS-160, but there's no fee. That's a free form. There's no cost for the DS-160. There's no cost for that. You submit the DS-160. You pay the consular fee. You can use a credit card to pay your consular fee. Schedule the visa interview. Schedule the medical exam, and schedule the biometrics. When I scheduled Karina's visa interview at the embassy in Bogota, Colombia, on November 16th of 2023, I also scheduled a biometrics. I called Karina. I said, hey, I got your K1 visa interview scheduled for November 16th. She said, okay, great. I said, and this was in October. Okay, so it's like about October 10th or 12th, somewhere like that, or 15th. I said, go and schedule your medical exam. She said, okay. And she learned that when she went to schedule her medical exam, she needed the list of travelers email, which comes from the MVC welcome letter. She needed the MVC welcome letter. She needed the NOA2 letter showing that she had her visa approved. We learned all this. She went to her medical exam about 3 weeks, I think it was, 2 weeks, and boom, here she is in the United States. How long should we expect to wait after completing the second medical? Depends on the embassy. What's their workload? Chris and Emil, I have a question. Emil, cousin, may come to the USA as teacher's work permit. What can she do for this process? So she has to find out what school she's going to work at with a teacher's work permit. So the cousin can come to the United States as a teacher under a work permit. Now, I have no idea how these H1, whatever they are, work permits work. That's H1 something. But Emil's cousin needs to contact a school where she's going to work at as a teacher. And that school has to sponsor her under an H program visa. H1, I think it is. Don't hold me to it because I have no clue. Remember, I'm not an immigration attorney, but I think it's an H1 work permit. Or whatever the work permit numeration is, her cousin has to contact a school in the United States. The school has to sponsor her. And then the school does the visa application. And then she goes for the visa interview for the work permit. Okay, It's a totally different process than what I understand. I know K1 visas and spousal visas and green cards and tourist visas. But this process will be where the school sponsors Emil's cousin to come work in the United States. Okay? All right, guys, I've been talking for an hour and 15 minutes? Today is Monday. Larry never showed up for the live stream, but he wanted me to do a live stream on Monday. But we answered lots of questions, right? We did a lot of good things today. Lots of pixie dust for everybody. And Carlos gets the last word. Forgot to tell you, thanks to you and your wife, my fiance and stepdaughter flew into Newark, New Jersey last Tuesday. Mountain Dew salute to Carlos. Welcome. Tell your wife and stepdaughter, welcome to the United States. We're glad you're here. And hopefully it's not too cold up there in New Jersey. But get her prepared for some snow. And with that said, thanks a lot, Joe A. We'll see you guys Wednesday.